Okay, I'm going to demonstrate. So when I turn on onion layer and mark. Hi, this is Dan Scheffelman. I'm going to give you guys a little tutorial on how to set up your AR chalk image. I just wanted to sort of take you through one way of doing this to demystify the whole process. There's a few ways you can do it. Basically, anything that you know about animation tools, whether it's working in Photoshop or After Effects or Adobe Animate or any other app that you know, or combination of apps that can do this. All you need to be doing is creating a QuickTime based upon your maquette for your chalk piece. And so I did this as a demonstration. Obviously doesn't have anything to do with the theme this year, unless I'm saying that humans are going to become onion heads in the future, but I just did it as a way of showing how to do this. So what I've done is just set up a Photoshop file with my base layer. And by the way, I'm showing you this timeline here, which you don't have to use if you don't know how to use it. It's a sort of clumsy Photoshop way of animating, but it's been used to make film, so it can work. My preference is to create this and then to output the layers into JPEGs and then bring that into Adobe Premiere. If you've had my class, my storyboarding class, you've done all this. It's kind of a no-brainer. For you, if you have not worked with these applications, it's really not that complicated, believe it or not. You don't need a whole course to learn how to do it. So here's my base layer, and this would be the image that would be my chalk piece. So this would be on the wall. And what we call this a marker. So this is the image that the app that we're using to demonstrate or to show the AR, that would be something you download onto your phone and point it at the image, and that would animate on your phone, which is called BlipR. At this time, that's what we're going with. This is the marker that signals to the phone and to the app that it's time to play the animation. So what I want to do is create a little QuickTime that animates from this original pose, because the idea is you want it to come to life. Whatever you're having happen, you want it to come to life from this image. Now, I've done a pretty simple animation. It could even be simpler than this. It could literally just be from this to this, just 2 drawings, okay? But I've really done like 6 drawings to make it a little bit more engaging than that, and also to allow me to add sound, which is pretty cool. So basically, you see my layers. I have the first layer is the base drawing, then he blinks, eyes open, looking at you, just a sort of classic cartoon trick of changing eye direction. Then says hello, okay, one mouth position, not getting crazy with it. Could have gotten into a whole lip syncing thing, but I'm trying to show how simple this can be. And then 2 wave positions, okay? So that's it, that's all I've done. Now, since I've done this by layers as opposed to, if you look over here, let's get rid of the timeline now. I'm not going to use the timeline anymore. Should be closing. Okay, just not going to show the timeline. Okay, I'm just going to go straight layers here. So I have all of my layers turned off, my base layer here. What I'm going to do is just flatten these as JPEGs so that I'll have individual poses. So I would take this, I would do a save as, and I would call it JPEG 1. Okay, I'm going to put it in a new folder. Save it to there. Hit this menu, say OK. And now I'm going to turn on my next layer. Get rid of this timeline. Just going to delete my timeline, so I'm not worrying about that anymore. Close it. Go back to my layers. Okay, so now I have my eyes closed layer. I'm going to do a save as on that. And by the way, by calling it JPEG, I automatically flatten it so that I'm not dealing with a bunch of layers. Put it in there. I'm going to call it 02. Now remember, you could be doing this all in After Effects. You could be doing a totally different way. The end result is just that you want to be getting animation. Okay, so let's say I went ahead and did all that, which I've already done. Flatten all the layers. Now I'm going to close out of Photoshop. And I'm going to go to, I'm going to open Premiere. Well, let me show you first. I have all my folders here. So here's my blip folder. Here's my, so right now I have a couple of projects going on here, but I have 02, 03, 04, 05, 06, 07, 08. Somewhere I should have my 01. I don't, but okay. So I'm gonna open Premiere now. And you know, most of you know how to set up projects. If you don't, we can help you with that. But I already have one set up, so I'm going to open this blip R test. Okay, so it's already set up, and I can take you through the process of setting up also if you need help with that, but most of you have done this either in Premiere or you've done this in After Effects, so pretty much however you're getting to this point is up to you. So basically what I've taken all of my panels and I've put them into Premiere and I recorded a little voice. So I've created I recommend keeping this pretty brief because people are going to be walking down these murals with their phone, pointing it at your image and getting a little animation. So I think if we have 50 that are done this way, you know, 2 to 3 seconds is about the most that you want to do. And remember that you're doing something that either would end with a wave or loop as one thing. So it could just be eyes blinking and looping. I'll show you how to do that. But for now, I'm just going to say the person's going to the viewer is going to walk by my piece, point the phone at that, and get I'll show you what they're going to get. They're going to get this.
Hi.
Okay, that's it. So
Hi.
it's not complicated. It's fairly easy to do, and that's pretty much all it is. Okay.
Hi.
So cheesy, fun, but just think of the fact that this is going to be something people are going to see on their phone, post to Instagram, text to friends. Other people would be doing it. I can pretty much guarantee this is going to be a huge draw, even more so than previous Chalk events. So I'm hoping that you'll want to do this if it's voluntary and in your class. Okay, so now I've created that. I'm just going to do the way you render out any project. I'm going to export media. And I generally like to go with H.264 as your codec, which is just the compression of your file. Export video and audio. Decide where you want to put it, what you want to call it. I'm going to call it hi. We're going to put it in my blip folder. What else should you know? Image size. Oh, okay. Let me just go back real quick. I will say that I've exported that. The thing about this is you want to make sure that your image is 3:6 aspect ratio. So it's 3. In real life, these murals will be roughly 3 feet by 6 feet. So it doesn't matter in your thumbnail how big it is, but I would say just to be safe, let's make it 3:6 inches at 300 DPI. So now here's another catch. For Blipar, the way this app works, they want you to have an image that's 800 pixels high by 800 pixels as your longest side. Okay, so what I've done is made my project size 3:6, but making sure that the vertical height is 800 pixels. So let me go to sequence settings and see if this is correct. Okay, so you see right here I have frame size 400 by 800. That's my project size. Now again, if you know Premiere, if you'd made your original Photoshop file this size and brought it into your timeline, it would have automatically resized that timeline to this size. But if you set up a new sequence, you want it to be like this. All right. Again, I'm not going to get too deep into Premiere. Either you know this, a lot of you know this. If you don't, we can go through it. But I'm just kind of giving you the general overview here. Okay, so let's get out of Premiere. Let's close Premiere. Let's not save. And I'm now going to take you to the website that Blipar has set up so that you can set up your blip, as they're called, which is where you're going to set up the animation that's going to play when the viewer walks by. So we're going to go to blipar.com. Now, all of this part may or may not be something you even have to do. We're working on having someone who coordinates all of this who is either from Blipar or an AR expert. But I just want to show you how this works on an individual basis, because you may want to do this on your own another time. So if you go to augmented reality, you go to Blip Builder. Okay. Now I should be logging in. Let's see. This is not allowing me to log in. Oh, okay. Huh. Okay. I think I went to the wrong place. All right, let's go to blipar.com. Let's go to dashboard. So I already have an account set up. So that might be something that I'd have to take you through, but let's just skip that step right now. It looks like if I had gone to blip, let's see, go to blips. Let's see what happens if I go to blips. Okay, you're going to want to go to blips.blipr.com, and you'll need to set up an account. Pretty simple, free account. Again, we will probably have free accounts set up or paid accounts so that you'll be able to do this without going through this whole process. All right, I've done a few already, but I'm gonna do a new one, same as this one, just to show you how this is done. So create new blip. I'm gonna go to Blip Builder. So now it's asking me to upload a marker. Now a marker is the still image basically that is going to be on the wall. Okay, so I'm going to go to my folder, find my marker. So this is the first layer. So I'm going to bring that one in. And so here it is. I'll just call it test or demo and continue. So now it's creating my blip. Okay, so I get this kind of page. So this is basically your dashboard for working on setting up and maintaining your blip. So once you've created this page, you could go in and change things up later. For example, one thing that you'll have to do, or we will have to do, is once you've done your actual mural, you'll probably have to re-upload a picture of that so it matches this perfectly. That said, if you make your maquette very precise and you paint very much to that grid, as if you're using this grid here, it may work with this as your marker. Okay, so this is my marker. This sort of partially transparent image is my marker. Now, what I want to do is upload. So I'm going to go up to uploads, and I could either drag or drop, or I could browse. So I'm going to just hit browse, and that's going to take me to my folder with my videos. I'm going to see if I can find it. So this is the onion test here. So this is the video that I would have output from the Premiere file that I made. So I'm going to bring that in, and that's right here. It's importing it. So this is the little 3-second video. I'm just going to drag that in and drop it right on top of my existing image. I'm going to line it up. So what I'm doing is I'm showing the app that this is the video that's going to play when my phone is pointed here. Okay, now this is still a free account right now. We're going to be setting that up so that it's publishable. Right now you can't actually publish it. Meaning you can't actually have this be something that anybody download the app, they pointed at this, and they'll see this. But we can preview it. Okay, so ultimately you may not even be having to worry about this part, but if you did, this is how you would do it. So normally you would publish it, it has to go uploaded, they have to approve it, and then it's running live. If I do a preview, I'll need a code. So, but it allows you to see what you've done. So there's a few things over here to look for. Oh, and by the way, here it says replace. So if you later wanted to put a different image here or a different video here, you could do that. So I'm going to leave it in AR mode. I'm going to put it on autoplay. And what that means is if you don't put it on autoplay, you have to point the phone and then it'll be a little play button. You have to hit the play button. If you have it on autoplay, you point the phone at your mural and it'll just play. Now, if you created something that would run as a loop, let's say I just have him waving, you might do that. That way it'll loop as long as the person is pointing the phone there. I want this to end because it would sort of be redundant. He would say hi and then wave and then close his eyes, and it just would kind of be idiotic. So I'm gonna put it at autoplay, but I'm not gonna set it as a loop. Other things on here, there's all different things. There's 3D. There's all sorts of things that if you want to go crazy with this, you could get involved in doing things like that. I'm trying to keep this really simple at this point. All right, so I'm going to preview it. So by hitting preview, it's going to give me a screen where I can set up the code. So I'm just going to set up the code as test 1, 2, 3. So this is the code that I have to use on my phone. Okay. So I now have test 1, 2, 3. Obviously, remember that. I'm going to publish to test. Okay. Now, in the next section, I'm going to show you what this looks like just by pointing my phone at the screen to show you how this works. So you're done. That's all there is to it.